Hello, everyone. This is Hembar2699 coming at you, through this wonderful thing we have called the internet. Uh, Today, I kind of just felt like talking again. I wasn't exactly sure what to talk about. I don't feel like I'm like the best person to talk about certain things, uh, such as something, for example, it's June 12th. I'm recording this. It was June 11th, yesterday, obviously, which is the anniversary of Robert E. Howard's death. Robert E. Howard's an artist, he's a poet, a writer, um, and he committed suicide, and that was 88 years ago. And that's a very depressing thing, and I don't like this idea of suffering artists. Now, I know in some ways when I've made some of my best art, or what I consider some of my best art, I mean, that being said, almost none of it's published, so apparently people don't like it all that much. But when I've made what I often consider some of my best stuff is when I have been very depressed. Um, but I kind of want to look on the other side of that, actually, is on the other side of that art. Right. So I just want to share an experience I had recently. Let's see. I think it might have happened on the first. I think it was the 1st of June. So not that long ago. I work in a factory, a plant that produces food products. It's very loud. It's very hot. I do not enjoy it. It's work that you don't need a degree for. I have a degree. I work there regardless because I haven't been able to get a job with my degree. Um, it's not very exciting. It's very unromantic. And overall, I'm kind of okay with it. I've worked there for about 7 months now. Just the way life is. I'm grateful for the money. In fact, actually, it's the most consistent income I've ever had. Um, and I would say it is good. Does give me some good experiences. I'm able to, communicate well, work hard. Uh, I got promoted like a month after working there, and then I was able to not permanently take that job, but do the job of the person above me as the month after that, pretty much. And so, like, I work hard. I'm a good worker. I feel like I have the skills I need to really succeed wherever I am needed. And I mean, I like to study and stuff on my own. I mean, like, I read a lot of things that hopefully make me a smarter and a better person. Uh, Mostly dealing with, well, I'm in a master's program right now, but a lot of the stuff I read, archaeology, anthropological stuff, philological stuff, historical stuff, codicological, that's a tongue twister, stuff, um, linguistics, whatever, Uh, I really like that stuff, and it doesn't directly affect my work at all. But I feel like the stuff I've learned from doing that, the big thing I've learned from doing that is learning how to learn, right? Learning how to think and learning how to learn. Very important for really any job you have. I mean, I can write well as well from my past degrees. My experience in humanities, I can write well. And, a lot of people honestly can't. But here I am still. I'm working a job where I don't have to write very much. Don't have to write really many emails at all. Um, and I don't really have to talk to many people. I mean, I do, but not a ton, I guess. I don't have to share any of the knowledge I have from all this studying and stuff I've done. But one experience I had on June 1st really kind of helped me refocus a little bit. I am religious, and sometimes I ask God every day why I work at a job like that when I don't really enjoy. It's not very enjoyable. I don't think really anyone would enjoy it. It teaches me how to work hard, I guess. But I mean, I've worked construction, I've worked in the labor sector pretty much my entire adult life. And I mean, I go to school, so I don't have to, but I'm still there. And I've had my bachelor's degree for almost a year now. But hopefully, I'm able to do some things that people enjoy. Like I had to give a training, for example, on I-9s, like human resources stuff, just a couple days ago, and I made sure to include art and historical stuff as well, in with all the boring bureaucratic stuff. Or I'm part of like a little symposium, more of a colloquium thing, but symposium. Um, that I'm able to share things and learn things from other people that like learning, and are not necessarily, professors or anything like that. So I mean, like, this is fun stuff. I like learning, but I also like being reminded that God is watching over, in a sense. Even though I've gone a long period where it doesn't necessarily feel like that, I really do not like my work, the 12-hour shifts. It's very not fun. Uh, and I've talked about that kind of in the past on this channel, even though I don't really post on this channel very often. But on June 1st, I had a little one-on-one first time in a few months with my supervisor, essentially. And at the very end of this one-on-one, it was fine. He's a nice guy. He likes to talk. At the very end of it, though, he basically told me, he showed me this BB gun he had, and he said, if you see this bird, there's a bird that's been in the plant for a few days, let us know. And I was like, okay, well, I didn't know that. That was the first I'd heard that there was a bird in there. I've heard birds have gotten in the plant before. You have to kill them normally, or normally they just die and you find them because they're inside this big hot building that is not meant for natural habitation, obviously. And these birds are stuck in there for a few days, and so they end up dying. Um, but I'm like, okay, whatever. Literally, like 10 minutes after talking to him, I find the bird. In fact, I have to go upstairs to do something. The thing I'm on has 3 floors. It's the biggest, I would argue, of all the things going on in that plant. I work on the biggest one, and I have to go up to the 3rd floor, and I go in, just done this 100 times, right? And I put my foot up the step up on the first step, and I stop because right where I would step, like I was about to step on it, it was this bird. There's a little black bird, and it stares at me. It doesn't move. It doesn't move. It just stares at me, and I put my foot down. It really gets my heart racing. I was really scared for a moment. I was like, "What the heck?" Like, I wasn't expecting that, obviously. But it doesn't do anything. It just sits there. So I go back and I tell my boss that there's a bird over there. We go look at it real quick. It doesn't move really. It's just kind of moving its head. It's not really doing anything. And then I go and do what I had to do that moment. We call the supervisor I was just talking to, but he had actually just left. And then when I am done doing what I was supposed to go upstairs to do, I see him, and so I go and find him, and I say, I found the bird. We go back. The bird's moved like 5 feet, and he has his BB gun, right? And he's gonna shoot the bird. And the whole time, like after my heart's racing this whole time after I almost stepped on it, I'm just thinking, I don't want this bird to die. I just really don't want that. And considering I know where the bird is, if it's going to die, I'm probably going to witness its death, and I really don't want that. Like I just hate. When I was younger, I had no problems, like killing ants or spiders or whatever. And I'll still kill that stuff if it's in my house. But normally when it's outside my house or if it's not bothering my kids in my yard or whatever, then it's fine. Like I don't need to step on the beetle, you know what I mean? Like the crunch doesn't do anything for me. All right. Like heck, I'll even if I see a worm that's struggling on the asphalt or the sidewalk, concrete, whatever, and because it was raining, but now it's not, you know how they just kind of come out, they just get sizzled in the sun. I'll put them in the grass. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's the thing to do. All creatures of God, right? So I'm like, I really don't want this bird to die. And so I'm praying basically. I'm like, please don't let this bird die. But I don't know how it's going to get out of this building without dying, right? And this guy's a hunter too, so like he lines up the shot and he pulls the trigger. I'm not sure if the bird moved first because it was moving a little bit, or if it just missed, like because he just barely missed it, or what. But anyways, the bird hops along and it goes into this corner. It doesn't fly in this corner. Obviously, it's very sick at this point. Goes into this corner, and he hands me his gun. And he only takes the one shot. He hands me his gun, and he's like, "Take this back." Well, he told me to take it back to his office after he just hands it to me for a second, and he's like getting in the corner. He's got his arms out, right, and the bird just sitting there, and he grabs it, right, and he's very gentle. The bird kind of pecks at him, but he doesn't hurt it at all, and he doesn't have any blood on his hands, so we knew he missed the bird. And he takes it outside, and I bring his gun back to his office, and I have to make sure there's no blood or whatever around the area. Nothing got on the product, which is good. I mean, there's no product really get on right there, which is nice that that's the case. But I was just so grateful that the thing didn't die. Like even when he was going to take the shot, I look away. Like I was not going to look at it, and so like I hear him take the shot, and on the corner of my eye, I see the bird still moving, and it goes into this corner. I'm just so glad I went into that corner, and that his idea was to grab it. His idea wasn't to shoot it again. His idea wasn't to beat it with a sneak and stock or something like that. Like he just grabs it, right, and he takes it outside. Like I don't know if that bird survived, but I know it survived that encounter. I know it survived being in that crappy, unholy monolith of a factory, right? And that it didn't belong in, that nothing living should be living in there, right? And I'm really glad that it didn't die, and I was very glad for that. And and I thank God. And I know in some ways that's unpopular to thank God these days, and a lot of people are not religious. And I wasn't particularly religious when I was younger. I didn't really believe in God for a while. But you know what? I'd always been exposed to religion. I mean, like in various kinds. I mean, one of my first memories is being baptized in a mitzvah as a Jew. All right, and like or going to a Buddhist temple, with my dad, who was an atheist. All right, and so I mean, like, just I've had a lot of experience with the religion, and so I mean, there's kind of a reason why I'm probably religious, but I mean, I had my doubts as a lot of people, and I think um, that helps me refocus. You know what I mean? Because as much as this other stuff, is interesting or fun, it's not all that important in the end. That living day to day is one thing, but living for something else in the grand scope of things is something else, right? And that'll get you through, right? Like maybe the old English poems get me through today, but God answering my prayers gets me through, well, everything. So, anyways, those are my random thoughts.